Well, hello, welcome to Vineyard 53. My name is Ben, this is Rachel. We're part of the family here. A special warm welcome if you're new or visiting us today. We are Vineyard 53. We're a church on an adventure, inviting people into relationship with Jesus and each other and seeking transformation in every part of life.
And in a moment, we'll be having a time of sung worship. These will be songs to Jesus and about him. Feel free to get as involved as you want, sing along, reflect on the words, or just sit and listen. And then that will be followed by some announcements and a short talk, and then some time to pray and reflect together. But before we move on, I'd just really love to pray. Yeah, Father God, I just thank you for your presence with us today. I thank you for the wonderful summer holidays that we've all been having. I thank you for this wonderful season that we're coming into. I thank you for just everything that you're doing with us right now. And Lord, I just pray that you would come and be with us this morning. I pray that you would be in our hearts and in our homes as we worship together. And I just pray that we will know that we are all part of one big family. Amen.
You are the lifter of our head. Your love is an endless ocean, never running dry. You came for the lost and lonely. You are the lover of the weak. You are our joy exploding. Jesus, the one we need. Your light breaks through the night. We're coming alive, coming alive. Your name breaks every chain. We're coming alive, coming alive. You came for the broken-hearted. You are the lifter of our heads. Your love is an endless ocean, never running dry. You came for the lost and lonely. You are the lover of the weak. You are our joy exploding. Jesus, the one we need. Your light breaks through the night. We're coming alive, coming alive. Your name breaks every chain. We're coming alive, coming alive. This is the freedom we cry for. This is the freedom you died for. My place don't have to be the same. My guilt, your grace, you're breaking every chain. You took my place, don't have to be the same. My guilt, your grace, you're breaking every chain. We're coming alive, coming alive. 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 Your light breaks through the night. We're coming alive, coming alive. Your name breaks every chain. We're coming alive, coming alive. Your light breaks through the night. We're coming alive, coming alive. Your name breaks every I'm secure in your embrace. All the striving ends, I don't have to bear the weight in the hidden place where you speak to me. I hear calling out my name, calling out my name. I'm ready to follow you in faith, follow you in faith. Have your way. In the hidden place, you're the potter, I'm the clay. I am healed and changed in the wonder of your grace. I surrender all. Lord, my heart is yours to shape in the hidden place where you speak to me. I hear you calling out my name, calling out my name. I'm ready to follow you in faith, follow you in faith. I hear you calling out my name, calling out my name. I'm ready to follow you in faith, follow you in faith. Have your way. Have your way. Have your way. Come and break through every darkness. Have your way. Come and silence every lie. Have your way. Come and breathe into the ashes. Have your way. Bring dead hope back to life. Have
Hello again, and thank you for joining us. A huge welcome again to everyone who's watching, but especially if you're new, if you just clicked on for the first time today, if you're exploring faith, we love that you're here with us. Now, it could be that you are one of those people who's got big questions about life and faith at the moment. And if that's you, we'd really love to kind of help you on that journey. There's a page on our website that is just for you. It's got loads of information. And also, we'd just love to hear from you. So do get in touch with us. And also, if you haven't got a Bible at home, we'd really love to send you one. So again, just get in touch with us and we'll pop it in the post for you. Now, one of the best ways to stay connected here at Vineyard 53 is small groups. Small groups are an amazing place to meet new people, to make new friends, to grow in our faith and to kind of be part of the community here. We are currently on a summer break, but our autumn term small groups are launching next week, which is so exciting. So all the information about those will be available. So do check that out.
Yeah, we have our last few things happening as part of our summer at V53. Do check out our website for the full lowdown, vineyard53.org. But to mention just a couple of things, we have our big summer fun day happening this afternoon, 12 till 3 p.m. and it's not too late to sign up and come along. It'll be on Upton High School field, but you'll only be able to access it from Cheshire County Sports Club. So if you park at Cheshire County, you can walk into the field that's right next to it. There's going to be a hog roast along with veggie and vegan options too. Expect bouncy castles, fun games and refreshments. It'll be a great chance to hang out, have fun and reconnect with each other. And it's all free. So who could you invite along as well? Also later today, we have our back to school prayer event. This will be 8 p.m. on Zoom. An opportunity to gather together to pray for families with children returning to school. Whether you have kids heading back to school, maybe changing schools, readjusting after lockdown, or maybe you'd just like to join in and pray for our young people. Do join us later if you can. No need to sign up for this. The Zoom link should be in the description below. Well, awesome. We're going to go into a short break now about the length of a song. Feel free to grab another drink or message someone you haven't heard from in a while. I'm sure they would love to know you're thinking of them. Following the break, there will be a short talk. So bye for now.
Good morning. I am Alison and I'm part of the family here at Vineyard 53. And it is so good to have you with us. Welcome, everybody. So, how are you? How are you doing? We've just been through 18 months of COVID. Do you look back and stare and wonder, what on earth? Bubbles, homeschooling, masks, social distancing, grief, uncertainty, way too much hand sanitizer, and now all the emotions that are accompanying the emerging from that. Many of us are really tired and just haven't had the opportunity to process these past 18 months. Or perhaps you're carrying something else that you would just love to have time to think about, to process, to spend time with God and talk to Him and hear from Him about those things. Let me ask you a question in the form of a verse from the Bible. Are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion? Because Jesus says, come to me. Get away with me and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. Over the summer, we've been doing a series of talks on the topic, Living the Revolution, how practicing the habits of Jesus can change everything. We've looked at silence and solitude, simplicity, fasting, Sabbath, and worship. And today, I'm going to look at the spiritual practice of retreat. In particular, taking a personal spiritual retreat. In the verse I just read, Jesus was inviting us to come away with him, to get away, have a real rest. Yeah. He was inviting us to retreat. What is a retreat? We retreat from the front line to give perspective to our minds, strengthen and nourish our souls. It's a time away from the everyday pressures, a time to rejuvenate, rest, and receive from God. It is caring for and recalibrating our souls. Ruth Haley Barton, in her book, Invitation to Retreat, wrote, in the context of the spiritual life, retreat is an extended time apart for the purpose of being with God and giving God our full and undivided attention. Or another quote I came across, retreat is a temporary withdrawal to be renewed, to regroup, and to find strength you need to go forward. And it's personal because you get to go alone. So, to withdraw, extended time apart to just be with God, to be renewed, to regroup and find the strength to go on. How does all that sound? Is that something that you notice you could be longing for? If only you could create the time and the space. Well, Jesus went on retreats regularly. We read about it in the Bible, how he would take himself off and spend time alone and be with God. We read in Matthew as an example, after he had dismissed the crowd, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. He encouraged his disciples to retreat. We read in Mark. There was such a swirl of activity around Jesus with so many people coming and going that they were unable to even eat a meal. So Jesus said to his disciples, come, let's take a break and find a secluded place where you can rest a while. Come, take a break, find a secluded space and rest a while. There's an invitation that's hard to refuse. So here's the thing. If Jesus, amazing teacher, miracle worker, Son of God, if he needed to go on retreats and encouraged his followers and friends to take retreats, don't you think we also might need to go on retreats? It's quite likely that we will be able to face the challenges of our own lives in a better way if every now and again we get to take time away, to withdraw, to come away with Jesus and to drink deeply of all he has for us. As part of a course a while ago, I took a 3-hour retreat. We used to live near a very busy city, and this retreat center was in the outskirts of that. And for just 3 hours, I wasn't really going to pay for the use of a room or any facilities, so I sat on a bench outside in a very grassy area. There was a pond and a fountain, very pretty, but beyond that was an incredibly noisy, very busy road. But that's where I plonked myself with my journal and my purple pen, and I sat there and I said to Jesus, so I'm here. What you got? What would you like to say? And you know, I've had many retreat days since then, or overnight retreats since then. And as I look back, that particular retreat, that 3 hours by a very busy road, that retreat was the most life-changing, significant one I've ever had. I've also taken time to go to Bodnant Gardens in North Wales and sit there on a bench and enjoy the beautiful place, the scenery, the flowers, the mountains. You get to see the mountains everywhere there. It's incredible. But to just sit there and be aware of God's presence with me and ask what he might have to share with me. And I've also taken overnight retreats too. But as I said, retreats do not have to be at a retreat center or overnight or even a full day. The thing is, if God has something he wants us to know, he will let us know however long we put aside to spend time with him. He is just waiting. He is waiting for us to give him our attention. So think creatively. How could you make it work? Well, I get it. I do. I really get it. It's hard to get away, especially if you've got young children, a full-time job, work even longer hours than a full-time job, or find it difficult financially. It is hard to do, to organize, but it's not impossible with a bit of creativity. You know, if you know a friend is away, perhaps you could go and sit in their front room. Because if you were sitting in somebody else's front room, you wouldn't be tempted to get out the vacuum cleaner. Well, you might, but I wouldn't be tempted to get out the vacuum cleaner or to do the dishes or the dusting. And I would be less likely to have any interruptions. And there are places to go for walks around here, incredible places to go for walks. You could take yourself off there. And of course, there are a number of retreat centers if you wanted to make use of those. If you have young children, then it gets a bit difficult and you have to think very hard about how to plan this. But what about if you asked a friend if they could look after them for a morning and you offered to do the same thing for them while you each take a retreat? But then, of course, there's the time thing. What if there just isn't any time? See, I would argue that people will always find time to do what they really want to do. If I came to you with front row tickets for your favorite band or football team or show, I would guess that you would do everything you could to juggle the kids, the family, the job, the time, to be able to take me up on those tickets. Or if maybe somebody offered you their holiday home for a weekend, somewhere wonderful, wouldn't you do whatever you could to be able to take advantage of that? Well, here we have an invitation to come away with Jesus. Have his undivided attention as we give him ours. So let's think creatively about how we can make that work. So, what if you were going to take a retreat? Then what? Well, if you've said yes to the idea, to the possibility of taking a retreat, the first thing you need to do is pray. This is Jesus' invitation, so let's get him involved with the planning and the details, because I'm sure he would love to help. Next, find the next opportunity on your calendar, not the best opportunity on your calendar or the perfectly timed opportunity on the calendar, but the next one that could work. Because there ain't never going to be the best time. Let's work with what we got and pencil it in, whether it's a morning, a full day, 24 hours, just a couple of hours. And then decide where you want to go. We've talked about all the options. And yeah, a bench on a very busy road does work. But so do some local gardens, a friend's house, beach or retreat centre. Think about what you could do, maybe even an Airbnb. Ooh, there's a thought. Anywhere that is just not your own home, where you feel you can connect with God and where you're unlikely to have any interruptions. So then, okay, we've decided to go on a retreat. We've got one booked. What do you do when you're there? Well, basically anything you want to. I quite often tell people that the most spiritual thing you can do on a retreat sometimes is to take a nap. You see, it's not until we get away from all our responsibilities and our routines and all the pressures of our everyday life, it's not until we leave that behind us that we realize just how tired we really are. And so, yeah, take a nap. Take a bubble bath. So let's look at the possibilities of the things you could do. Like I said, you could take a nap or a bubble bath. You could do a craft project. Listen to God and what he's saying. Just sit there. I like to sit there with my journal and my purple pen and say, okay, God, I'm here. What do you want to say? If there's a particular concern or issue that you're grappling with and really, really want to have his perspective on it, bring that to him. Or take the opportunity to respond to the question Jesus asks in the Bible. What would you like me to do for you? What would you like Jesus to do for you? Have a chat with him about that. Maybe you want to have time to process the past year or something else. Or just take the opportunity to be still. You could catch up on some reading, devotional books, spiritual books, the Bible, a novel. You could ask Jesus what he would like to do. The invitation comes from him. If you ask him what he'd like to do, I know he's more than happy to respond. The last couple of retreats I've taken a carload of books about retreats, because I've got loads of books about retreats. I've taken journals, I've taken art projects, I've taken craft projects, I've taken podcasts to listen to, I've taken all sorts of things. I've also taken a few things I really wanted to talk to Jesus about and hear his wisdom on. But every time I felt I was going to say, Jesus, what about what I sensed him saying in response was, we could, but I really just want to hang out. I just want to hang out with you. As much as I wanted to hang out with him, I felt he wanted to hang out with me. And so I read, I crocheted, went for walks, all the time being very, very aware of Jesus' presence with me. So I couldn't tell you that anything incredible happened as such, but I did just spend a few days of uninterrupted time hanging out with Jesus. So that was kind of incredible. So I would love to challenge you. Your challenge, if you decide to accept it, is to take a retreat of one shape or form, a couple of hours, a couple of days, whatever. Yeah, here's the crunch. To take a retreat sometime between now and Christmas this year. Think about the possibilities and how you could make it work. Think creatively. And then if you get to go on one and do it, let us know how you get on. We want to hear your stories. But as I come into land, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to sit there with your eyes closed and imagine that Jesus is in the room with you as I read the words I read at the very beginning. Imagine he is saying these to you. Are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion? Come to me, get away with me, and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't let anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. And as he gives you that invitation, how would you like to respond to him? Let me pray. Jesus, you know how each one of us is feeling right now. You know what we're carrying, you know what we're facing, you know what we've been through. And you stand before each one of us and give us this invitation to come away with you and learn how to take a real rest. And Lord, I ask that you would help us to figure out how we can make that work, how we can respond, how we can take a retreat of one kind or another in the next few months. Come and be close to each one of us, and we plan the day, the place, and the content. But just keep reminding us that this is your idea, your invitation to each one of us to take a break, to find a secluded spot, and to rest with you for a while. Amen.